Hi, I have an announcement. There's a change in one of the things that I need to do for these books, which is to have a copy of the entire book in MS Word form, and then have that highlighted as part of the assignment. So let me go over some of the issues pertaining to copying. So I'm going to open up chapter 6 for now here. And I will have a new section rather than detailed notes where it's just that the actual text. So, well, let me just do that now. So this is the actual, I'll just call it actual book for now, actual book chapter. So let's pretend we have to do this. So the first thing I normally do is, again, rather than look at it in this page view form, I'm going to look at it in this form, and I'm going to do this. If I'm going to copy the whole book, um, once you do this, you'll see here, for example, I'm going to copy this whole thing here. Well, with the chapter title, obviously it's already over here. I've already input it, and it's better for me to um, put this in manually rather than pasting it in, because what happens is the quotation thing here, I'm going to copy it, and then when I paste it in, you'll see this thing comes up. And this is all in a chapter heading form, if you see these chapter heading buttons, and that's not what I want. So rather than that, I'm just going to type that in. And every time I copy anything here, for example, let's say I copy this, the copy button turns up. So it's better than Control C, actually. It's simpler to do this. And then when I paste it in, obviously the attribution thing comes up. And normally I don't have to worry about this because the next thing I paste, I can just copy the next paragraph, for example, and then I can copy that and I can highlight that paragraph by clicking to the left of it. Rather than just going like this and scrolling, I can just click to the left, right? Just, from the left, it's easy. So I just click to the left and then I just paste it right there. And then the next paragraph, I can paste it right here. Okay, so that's pretty easy to do. Alternatively, I could also copy this whole section since now I'm going to copy the entire chapter. I'm going to copy the entire book basically. So I could copy the whole page all at once from here to here like this, copy it, and then I'll start over from the very beginning and I could just paste it here like that. But the problem with that is now this whole thing, which was originally several paragraphs, it has all turned into one giant paragraph here, this paragraph. So I can do it that way, but I just have to remember that once I do it, I have to, oh, I'm trying to get out of here. Okay, there we go. So once I've done that, I just have to remember that I have to break everything up into the proper paragraphs. And notice how, with the way I've copied it, I don't have this problem with paragraph breakage. I will include something in people's folders where the copy pasting is done improperly, and so what happens is here you can see the fonts are all incorrect here. It's not the proper font. And also these chapter headings, this is supposed to be a text box, but it's a chapter heading box. And you can tell by the pluses and minuses. The text boxes only have these dots that cannot be pluses or minuses, that cannot be folded. But the chapter headings have these pluses and minuses which can be collapsed. So it's the wrong, this is not a chapter heading with 200 words inside. It's actually a text box. So I will put this into everyone's folders to show how it's properly done. But in any case, worrying about that later. Here, right now, for now, I've copied the entire page to here. And obviously now I just have to split them into the right spots so that it's like this. And then so that the paragraph fits exactly where it is. So my father, and then consequently like this. And I want to put a line break between every paragraph because in the book, normally, I'll go back here. In the book, it's like this, and it's all together like this with, for example, with this indentation. with the indentation of the first paragraph like this. So there's no line break between paragraphs, right? I don't want that. I simply want to have these, I want just an extra line break in between every paragraph. That's how we need to have it for what we're doing. So simply, if you look at it this way, you can see that each of these buttons represents a paragraph. Here's a paragraph. This button represents a paragraph. This one represents a paragraph, but it's a line break. So in between every paragraph, I've put in a line break. And now when I go to the next page here, I can scroll my mouse just one to get to the next page, or I can just click to the right. Okay, and once I get to the next page, obviously here, this paragraph is connected to this paragraph still. So I'm going to copy this, and then I'm going to paste it right here. So I'm going to put that space in there and then paste it right there. And now I've copied this paragraph here. And then now I have 2 more paragraphs to go. Again, I can just do the whole thing all at once. So it shouldn't take very long. So I just copy the whole thing, copy it, and then so I'm going to start the next paragraph. So I'm just going to copy it, paste it over the attribution stuff. And then I always have a new attribution and I can get rid of it, so I don't have to delete it every time. But the important thing is I just put all these paragraph spaces here so that I have enough to work with. And now here again, I have 2 paragraphs, so I just need to find where it is. It's right here. I just need to be careful that I'm doing it at the right spot. So here we go. Now I've done this. And again, I need to connect the next paragraph to here because it's connected, right? The paragraph hasn't broken. And then, whoops. Oh no. So I've lost my page now. Okay, here we go. And then so here we go. And then I just want to continue on this way. And this time, finally, when I get to this page, I'm going to be at the very end. And this one is connected to here again. So when I paste that, whoops. When I paste this, here we go, and then I just have to find the proper line break. So that's going to be, here we go, right here. I can do it paragraph at a time, or I can do the whole thing, but I just have to make sure that I'm breaking it at the right place so that it follows the book. And so once this is done, I will have the entire chapter here. Filled. There are some pages here, I just want to show, there are some pages where the paragraph ends with this, with a footnote. And so what happens on a paragraph that ends with a footnote is if I highlight it to the last word of the footnote, the problem is it goes to the footnote and I can't actually copy it, right? That's the terrible problem. That's not what I wanted to do. So in that case, what I will normally do is I'll just copy this thing and then I'll just copy one more word past the footnote. And then I will paste it here and then I will get rid of that one word. That way I didn't have to, it didn't send me over to the footnote. Okay, so once I've done that, now it's not a problem anymore. Sometimes what happens is that the footnote is at the very end of the page. There will be some pages where the footnote is the very last word on the page. So in that case, that's also a problem because then you can't copy everything. So I don't know if I can find one here. I want to find a page thing where there's a footnote on the very last page. Here we go. So on this page, if I try to copy the whole page to the footnote, this time it was okay, but sometimes it will send me over to the footnote. So in that case, what I will do is I will just copy everything except for one word before that, and then copy this, and then copy paste it, and then here I just type in that last word like that and put the period. Okay, so basically this should not take very long because I'm just copying the entire chapter onto the page. So once this is copied, in terms of the detailed notes, before doing the detailed notes, I would like you to just simply highlight the parts where you think it is related to the main ideas that you're going to be borrowing for putting over to the detailed notes. Sometimes you could just simply copy all of that over. Sometimes you might need to change the wording around a tiny bit, right? But so basically here, if you hit the control button while if you hit the side, you highlight the whole paragraph. So if I think this whole paragraph is important, I'll just put it in bold. Okay. Um, Control B. Or I have my speed dial setting here, so this is Alt 1 right here. Alt 1, as you can see, it's Alt 1. And if you don't know how to do that, talk to me and I will show you how to do that. So that's Alt 1. But I've done this. But if you just want to highlight individual sentences, for example, you think the first two sentences here are the things that I want to highlight, you can always drag with the mouse like this. But it's really slow and time consuming, and it's inaccurate. Whereas if you just highlight if you put the cursor somewhere in the sentence and then hit the control button, hold the control button with your left hand, and then click somewhere in the sentence will highlight. So you can practice that a little bit. Just hit the control button, hold the control button down, and then mouse click. And then if I drag I can drag one sentence at a time. It just goes from one period to the next period. So from period to period, it recognizes the sentence. So I can do this, and then I can highlight that. I can highlight this part, for example, like this, and then I can highlight up to here. And so now I know I'm reading the actual book, but I can see that these are the parts that are the important parts that you're directing the reader to. Okay, so that's actually, this should be done probably as the first part of the assignment. It's just simply, the first thing I would do is just work on copying the entire book over here to MS Word, and then looking over and then deciding what parts to highlight. So you highlight the necessary parts and then move over to the detailed notes and then the chapter summaries. Part of this is so that because when I pass this on to the other readers who actually make use of this, they need to be able to confirm that this is, just in case they don't really fully understand from the notes, they will be able to look at the book itself as well. So if you have any questions, either write to me or, we can discuss this after that. Thank you. Oh, one last thing. If you notice here, I've just copied, and when I paste it, it's pasting over with the formatting that I want. It's in Georgia 11 font, which is the preset font. But for some people, as I showed in the PDF, in the JPG file here, the fonts were all different. Here is the Georgia font, the right font, but when this person pasted over, it pasted over into a whole different font, right? And it also pasted over these chapter headings. Again, when you see these chapter headings, to give you an idea, this is a chapter heading, and you don't want these chapter heading things. You want it to be, if you click the double arrow here, it's in the outlining view. The double arrows, it gets rid of the chapter headings. But when you're pasting properly, that should not be happening in the first place. So it's, the fact that you have to manipulate these buttons suggests that you're not doing it right in the first place. But anyway, when some people copy and paste, the font is different. And the problem, the reason that happens is you should simply go to the file, or there's a Microsoft Office sort of button here, maybe for different versions. And if you just go into the Word options here, you can see that there's a advanced here, right in the middle here. In the advanced, when you under the section where it says cut, copy, and paste here, where it says cut, copy, and paste, if you just select keep text only for everything. So if you just use keep text only, or use destination style for pasting between the documents, because there's no keep, well, there's, this one you want to use the destination style. But when you paste within everything, if you just keep text only, you could probably change all of them to keep text only. But if you do that, then whenever you paste, it will follow with the destination formatting rather than the origin formatting, because the origin, maybe, for example, if you copy from the web, it will have all different fonts and font sizes. That's the origin, right? But the destination is our destination file. And so if you just set that properly, then you don't have to copy this into simple text or into Notepad and then paste it into here. It saves you an extra step. And as I said, just remember that every paragraph I would like to have a line break. in between. And so that when the whole thing is done, at the very end here, there will also have to be a section for footnotes as well, because I'm going to need that, because I need everything that's necessary. So I create a footnote section. I'm going to make this into a regular paragraph, and then I can just copy the entire set of footnotes here as well. So once that's all done, then I will have a full copy of the paragraph itself, of the chapter itself, and then with relevant highlights, and then the relevant highlighted portions will form the detailed notes. So if you have any questions, please talk to me separately. Thank you very much.